I remember watching this film on VHS. For those of you who have seen my video about why I think The Magic Roundabout should be released on DVD, I'll go through the history of it real quick. The Magic Roundabout was created in French by Serge Danot, then adapted and narrated in English by Eric Thompson, who gave each character a charm that was adored by millions, making it one of the most cherished British television institutions of all time. So it makes sense that in the 70s they would make the movie Dougal and the Blue Cat, which of course led Eric Thompson to rewrite it for the English version. So what's the story? One day in the Magic Garden, Dougal goes to visit Zebedee and tells him about some funny noises he heard at a treacle factory the other night before. As Dougal goes to see Florence about it, a new arrival comes into the garden in the form of a blue cat named Buxton.
Buxton? Buxton? Aye, that's the name, lad. Buxton.
Which spells trouble for the gang. Dougal suspects Finns are afoot when he notices Buxton talking to a mysterious blue voice, memorably voiced by Fenella Fielding. Some very strange things begin to happen in the garden, and everybody is captured except for Dougal.
Curses and black pudding! They haven't got that dog!
So it's up to him to save the day from Buxton and Madame Blue. So that's the story of the film in a nutshell. So what do I think of it? I mean, like, what can I say about this movie that loads of people like Mark Kermode haven't said already? Every Magic Roundabout fan has seen it, and every Magic Roundabout fan loves it. In fact, they more than love it. They go bananas for it. So I'm thinking why people actually do go bananas for this movie. And don't get me wrong, I go bananas for this movie too. I'm in love with it. But every Magic Roundabout fan in the world seems to like it. I think some people even like it more than they like the CGI movie from 2005. My guess is that it's to do with Eric Thompson's writing, since he was the narrator and writer in the original show, so it would make sense that he would come back for the movie. Here's a little bit of trivia for you. This is the first ever Magic Roundabout project to have more than one actor in it. That's right, Eric Thompson was joined by the great Fenella Fielding, who voices the blue voice in the movie. And her performance is really memorable because it's such a sinister voice, especially with her famous catchphrase.
Blue is beautiful. Blue is best. I'm blue. I'm beautiful. I'm best.
Whew, I wouldn't want that woman in my house. Like I said, this was the first time we had more than one actor in the Magic Roundabout. This would be upstaged later with the 2005 movie, but for the time, this was pretty awesome. And there's not really much to say about the characters, since everybody knows them and everybody loves them, and of course I talked about it in the previous video where I talk about why the show should get a DVD release. But the stuff that I can say about this movie are the new characters, such as Buxton. Buxton is a wicked and evil blue cat who wants to become the blue king of the world and turn everything blue alongside his master, the blue voice.
Oh, I'm so evil.
The blue voice's true appearance was never really seen in this movie. This is like how we saw Dr. Claw's arms but never his face. But in this film we never see Madame Blue at all. Yeah, Madame Blue was the other name of the blue voice, but yeah, she's got both names. It's the blue voice or Madame Blue, whichever one you want to call her. And like I said, Fenella Fielding is very chilling as this character. I mean, you could imagine her voicing any villain you want. Heck, she could have even been the new voice for Cruella de Vil if she wanted to. And it's kind of ironic that blue is the colour of our main villains, and it's funny because my favourite colour's blue. But it's never my favourite colour to the point where I'd want it to be the only colour in existence. No, that's just psychotic. And this movie was a big step forward from the original TV series, since the original episodes were about 5 minutes long, and it was always one particular thing going on in the episode. But in this film, you got lots more to go through. So you got a lot more time to go through the characters that we know and love, to introduce the new characters, and to go through a big story that puts everybody in peril and puts Dougal on the line where he has to save the day. And it even shows us Dougal doing the one thing that we never expected to see him do. The task of resisting a room full of 14 tons of sugar.
To eat or not to eat, that is the question. Whether it is nobler in the stomach to suffer. Oh, shut up, Dougal.
Yeah, I found that really heartbreaking when I was a kid. I mean, it's Dougal trying to resist the one thing that he adores, because he knows that if he eats one lump of sugar, Buxton will know that he's Dougal instead of Blue Peter the Blue Dog. And I thought that was a clever idea too for Dougal to disguise himself as a blue dog. I mean, that was the only way he could go into the factory to save his friends, because you had to be blue to get in. The film has a clever mix of the comedy that Eric Thompson brought to the original show, and it also has a bit of a darkness to it too. And by darkness I mean putting the characters that we know and love in great perils, like everyone getting captured and chained up and Dougal being forced to be put in a room full of sugar to prove that he is Blue Peter or Dougal. Yeah, this was pretty dark compared to the TV series, because it's the first time we saw the characters that we know and love in this kind of position. And I thought that was a good move for Eric Thompson, and Serge Danot. Eric Thompson also writes the songs for this film, and each one of them are memorable, from Florence is a Lovely Morning, to Dylan's Lullaby, to I Am King, to Florence's Sad Song, and to We Are Blue. And I have two favourite songs from this movie. One of them being I Am Kim, because even though it's a villain song, it's a very light-hearted villain song. Well, not exactly light-hearted. I mean, Buxton does talk about killing people and all that stuff if they defy him. But the music sounds really upbeat that you wouldn't have thought it was a villain song. I also love the song We Are Blue, because even though Dougal's singing alongside Buxton, we all know that Dougal's about to betray him at any minute. But it's just nice to see this fake friendship that the two have gone through. Buxton thinking that Dougal's a blue dog named Blue Peter. Not that Blue Peter. Even though it was a fake friendship, it was really nice to see Dougal and Buxton getting along before the truth was revealed, and it goes through the big climax at the end. And speaking of climax, how many of you remember the scene where Buxton and Dougal go to the moon in this film? That's right, for those of you who haven't been paying attention, Dougal and Buxton go to the moon in this film.
Oh, what a place. Worse than Barnsley. It's lack of water that does it.
Film critic Mark Kermode, who was responsible for bringing this movie on DVD, describes it as the inspiration for Wallace and Gromit: A Grand Day Out. And I can see why he would make that comparison, since the two go to the moon and Dougal's a dog and Gromit's a dog, so yeah, it would make sense that he would do that comparison. The first time I ever saw this movie was on VHS, and I loved it back then as much as the show. And watching it again today, I still love it. When I first got this movie on a video cassette, I could not stop watching it. In fact, the only time I did stop watching it was when I got rid of my old VHS player and converted to a DVD player. I'm still kind of upset that I had to give away the video. I mean, I gave it to a charity shop, so it is going to a good cause.
This is your captain speaking. In 4 days, we will be landing at Watford Junction. Or Madrid. Or Berlin. Or Peking. Or Bournemouth. Did you like that? Oh, I'm so talented.
But when I found out that the movie was being released on DVD, I instantly saw the opportunity and put it on my Christmas list. Watching it on DVD, I still love the movie. I mean, the restored quality is just brilliant. It looks like anything that you would want to see today. A clean screen and all that jazz. If you're a fan of the Magic Roundabout, then you're definitely going to love this film. I'd recommend it for any Magic Roundabout fan out there. I would honestly recommend this movie for any Magic Roundabout fan or fans of animation in general. You won't be disappointed with the comedy that Eric Thompson provided for it. So go out there and watch it and enjoy it. You'll thank me for it later. Hopefully. I'm Dalek44. Now if you'll excuse me, I have a movie to watch.
and bad.